Hey everybody, welcome to this video lesson. It's Mr. Smith here. In this video, we are going to talk about modeling with quadratic equations. So this is going to involve a little bit of Desmos, and it's going to involve a little bit of big numbers. All right, so I'll try to break things down a little bit as simply as I can. First, we're going to talk about this idea of increasing and decreasing on a parabola. So let's pretend that this parabola is a mountain. Okay, pretend this parabola is a mountain, and if you're a skier or a snowboarder or maybe like a hiker or something, pretend that you're on the left side of this mountain, and so here's like me as a skier or something. So here's me as a skier. I got my skis. I got my poles. There we go. And I'm trying to ski. Well, going up this mountain would be pretty hard if I just had my skis, right? That's because the function is increasing as I move from left to right. I am increasing as I go up the mountain. Once I get up to here, though, once I get up to the vertex, that's when the fun starts, and I can start going down the mountain. All right. So as we read from left to right, we can see whether or not the graph is going up or going down from left to right. And that's all increasing and decreasing really means. So here's what I'm going to write. You'll be asked to tell where a function is increasing or decreasing. So if I was going to say where this graph is increasing or decreasing, I would say that it is increasing. I'm going to write this as a inequality. It's increasing for all of the x values that are to the left of my vertex, right? If I go to the left of my vertex, that's where I'm climbing up the mountain. So everything to the left of the vertex. That's all of the x values that are less than 2. All of the x values that are less than 2. Everything to the left of 2, that's where I'm increasing. Okay, well, what about decreasing? When does the fun start, right? When do I start going down the mountain? Well, that's for all the x values that are to the right of the vertex, or 2. Everything to the right of the vertex, that's when I start going down this parabola. So I can say all the x's are greater than 2. That is where my function is decreasing. Okay, so I like to think of it as a mountain, read it from left to right, and ask yourself, when are you going up the mountain? When are you going down the mountain as you go from left to right? Okay, so that's increasing and decreasing. We're going to do one application problem here, and then I'm going to wrap up this video, and then I'm going to have to do one more really fast one for you after this. So we got a graph. Shows the parabolic path of a performer who is shot out of a cannon. Oh my gosh, where y is the height and x is the horizontal distance traveled. We want to write an equation of the parabola. Okay, so a couple things here. We want to write an equation. That's the first thing we want to do, is write an equation. And then the second thing we want to do is figure out what is the height of the net that the performer lands in. That net is 90 feet from the cannon. Okay, so one thing at a time. First, let's write an equation for this parabola. We've done some problems like this. We did a bunch of them in class this week. I have 2 points. One of them is the vertex, right? 50, 35, that's the vertex. So I have my general form of a quadratic in vertex form. And I know 2 points on the parabola, 0, 15, and the vertex, 50, 35. I can just plug all these things in, right? The vertex is h and k, and this point is x and y. So I'm going to take all these pieces, plug them into the equation, just like we did in class this week. Okay, so here's what it's going to look like. Y is 15. Don't know what a is. X is 0 minus h, which is 50 squared, plus k, which is 35. Okay. So now we're just going to solve this down little by little. I got to do parentheses first. 0 minus 50, that's negative 50 squared plus 35. And now I want to do exponents. So I'm going to do negative 50 And if you remember this from class this week, we can rewrite this a times 2500 term to make it a little bit more clean. I can write it as 2500a plus 35. That's totally fine. A times 2500 and 2500a mean the exact same thing. Okay. And now to get a alone, I need to subtract 35. I told you we're going to be dealing with some big numbers, but that's okay. 15 minus 35, put it into a calculator if you need to. That's negative 20 equals 2500a. And then to finish this out, I need to divide by 2500 to get a alone. So that's going to give me a decimal, but that's totally fine. Negative 20 divided by 2500 gets you negative 0.008 for a. Okay, negative 0.008. Just put it into a calculator. Okay, I don't know if you guys can hear the bell or not, but maybe you can. Maybe it'll show up. So now we can write our equation, right? That was what we wanted to do first. So I'm going to take everything and plug it into the general form of the equation. Y equals A, which we just found is negative 0.008, negative 0.008 times X minus H, which is minus 50 squared, plus K, which would be plus 35. So there is my equation for this parabola. All right. So what's next? It asks us what is the height of the net. So we're told that there's a net 90 feet away from the cannon that the person lands in. We want to know how high is that net. Well, all we're going to do is we're going to take this information right there. The net is 90 feet from the cannon, and we're going to plug that in to our equation. Feet is on the x-axis, right? How far away the net is, that's on the x-axis. So I'm going to take 90 and plug it in for x, okay? We'll say that x equals 90. So I'm going to plug it 90 in for x. It'll look like this. Y equals negative 0.008 times 90 minus 50 squared plus 35. And now to finish this off, it's just going to take some calculator work, okay? So we can do one of them. Y equals negative 0.008. 90 minus 50, that's 40 squared plus 35. Again, I can deal with that exponent. It's going to be negative 0.008. Haven't done anything with that. 40 squared, that is 1600. Use a calculator if you need to. Now from here, you should definitely use a calculator. Negative 0.008 times 1600 plus 35. If you do that on a calculator, you get about 22.2. 22.2. So that means that this net that we're talking about, that's 90 feet away from the cannon, it's somewhere over here, there's this net. That net is about 22 feet off the ground. 22.2 feet off the ground. And that's how high it is. Okay? All right. So that's going to do it for this video. But before, if you're still watching right now, kudos to you. Way to stick it out. If you send me an email and tell me what movie this is from, email me and tell me what movie this is from, I will give you some extra credit. Okay? So kudos to you for sticking it out, and we will see you guys next time.